Hi, everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of
The Dungeon Crashers.
I'm Guy.
And I'm Zapeel. And before we get started, let's hit that like and subscribe button and turn on that bell so you don't miss out on any of our great D&D content. We wanted to say thank you to all that has subscribed to us so far, and if this is your first time to the channel, you won't be disappointed. The build we'll be doing this week is a Monk Ranger multi-class. It's a simple build, but it will be able to do great damage in combat, and with the skills it has, it will be very useful outside of combat. In our previous video, I'll put a link up in the corner, we used the Shadar-Kai elf, and we'll be using for this build too. If you want a different race, use one that gives you a +2 dexterity and wisdom. The Shadar-Kai get 3 +1 ability pluses, no more than a +2 on 1 ability score, and we put a +2 on dex and a +1 on wisdom. They get Darkvision, Ancestry, Keen Senses, which gives you the perception skill, Necrotic Resistance, and Trance. The main ability we want from Shadar-Kai is the Blessing of the Raven Queen. As a bonus action, you can magically teleport up to 30 feet to an unoccupied space you can see. You can use this trait a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. Starting at 3rd level, you gain resistance to all damage when you teleport using this trait. The resistance lasts until the start of your next turn, and during that time, you appear ghostly and translucent. This will match perfectly with the abilities we get later in the build. For ability scores, we put an 8 on Strength. This is a dex-based character, so Strength is not needed. A 14 on Dexterity, making it 16 from the racial bonus. A 14 on Constitution. We might be weak, but we want as many hit points as we can get. A 10 on Intelligence, because we don't want a negative score for our intelligence saves. A 15 on Wisdom, making it 16 from the racial bonus, since this will be our Ranger casting stat, and it is used for our Monk's unarmored defense. And a 10 on Charisma.
And for the background, we went with the criminal background. It gives us 2 skills, Stealth and Deception. We also get proficiency with 1 gaming set and Thieves' Tools. The criminal feature is Criminal Contact. You have a reliable and trustworthy contact who acts as your liaison to a network of other criminals. You know how to get messages to and from your contact, even over great distances. Specifically, you know the local messengers, corrupt caravan masters, and seedy sailors who can deliver messages for you. We chose this background for the skills it gives, and the criminal feature. You can choose a different background criminal, doesn't really fit with your campaign. At 1st level, we are starting off with Monk. We get 2 skills from the Monk list, and we want Insight and Acrobatics. We get Unarmed Defense. While we're not wearing armor or wielding a shield, our armor class is 10 plus Dex modifier plus Wisdom modifier. We also get Martial Arts. We gain the following benefits while unarmed, or wielding only Monk weapons and aren't wearing armor or wielding a shield. First, we can use Dexterity instead of Strength for the attack and damage rolls of our unarmed strikes and Monk weapons. Second, we can roll a d4 in place of normal damage for unarmed strike or Monk weapon attacks. This die changes as we gain Monk levels. At last, when we use the attack action with an unarmed strike or a Monk weapon on our turn, we can make an unarmed strike as a bonus action. For example, if we take the attack action and attack with a quarterstaff, we can also make an unarmed strike as a bonus action, assuming we haven't already taken a bonus action this turn. And that brings us to our starting equipment. We don't need much being a monk, but we will take a short sword since it's a monk weapon, a few darts or daggers for some range attacks, and a burglar's pack. Let's not forget the gaming set and Thieves' Tools. They can come in handy in some roleplay situations, especially the Thieves' Tools.
Yeah.
At 2nd level, we take 2nd level Monk. We get unarmed movement. We gain 10 feet of movement when not wearing armor or wielding a shield. We gain more movement as we level up. We also get our key. We start off with 2 key points and gain 1 per level of Monk. We regain all expended uses after finishing a short or long rest. And we can use our key points on 3 abilities, and we get more abilities as we level up in Monk. First, there's Flurry of Blows. Immediately after you take the attack action on your turn, you can spend 1 key point to make 2 unarmed strikes as a bonus action. Second is Patient Defense. We can spend 1 key point to take the dodge action as a bonus action on our turn. And this is really fabulous. And last is Step of the Wind. We can spend 1 key point to take the disengage or dash action as a bonus action on our turn, and our jump distance is doubled for the turn.
Yeah. At 3rd level, we'll be taking 3rd level of Monk. We get Deflect Missiles. You can use your reaction to deflect or catch the missile when you are hit with a ranged weapon attack. When you do so, the damage you take from the attack is reduced by 1d10 plus your Dexterity modifier plus your Monk level. If you reduce the damage to 0, you can catch the missile if it is small enough for you to hold in one hand and you have at least one hand free. If you catch the missile in this way, you can spend 1 key point to make a range attack with a range of 20 short, 60 long using the weapon or piece of ammunition ammunition you just caught as part of the same reaction. You can make this attack with proficiency regardless of your weapon proficiencies, and the missile counts as a monk weapon for the attack. We get our monastic tradition, and we will be taking Kensei. When you take this tradition, you get the following abilities. First is Kensei weapons. Choose 2 types of weapons to be your Kensei weapons, 1 melee weapon and 1 ranged weapon. Each of these weapons can be any simple or martial weapon that lacks the heavy or special properties. You gain proficiency with these weapons if you don't already have it. Weapons of the chosen type are monk weapons for you. Many of this tradition's features work only with your Kensei weapons. For our Kensei weapons, we'll be taking the longsword and darts for now. Next is Agile Parry. If you make an unarmed strike as part of your attack action on your turn and are holding a Kensei weapon, you can use it to defend yourself if it is a melee weapon. You gain a +2 bonus to AC until the start of your next turn while the weapon is in your hand and you aren't incapacitated. Next is Kensei Shot. You can use a bonus action on your turn to make a ranged attack with the Kensei weapon more deadly. When you do so, any target you hit with a ranged attack using the Kensei weapon takes an extra 1d4 damage of the weapon's type. And last is Way of the Brush. You gain proficiency with your choice of calligrapher's supplies or painter's supplies. At 4th level, we'll be taking 4th level of Monk, and we want to give the ability boost to Dex, making it 18. We also get Slow Fall. You can use your reaction when you fall to reduce the falling damage you take by an amount equal to 5 times your monk level. There's an optional feature at this level, Quickened Healing. As an action, you can spend 2 key points to roll a martial arts die. You regain a number of hit points equal to the number rolled plus your proficiency bonus. At 5th level, we 5th level a Monk. We get our extra attack at this level, giving us 2 attacks when we take an attack action. We also get Stunning Strike. When you hit another creature with a melee weapon attack, you can spend 1 key point to attempt a Stunning Strike. The target must succeed on a Constitution saving throw or be stunned until the end of your next turn. Your key save DC is 8 plus proficiency bonus plus wisdom modifier. Our martial arts die also increases to 1d6 at this level. And for 6th level, we'll be jumping to Ranger. At 1st level Ranger, we get 1 skill from the Ranger list, and we took Survival. We will be using the Ranger optional features. So first, we get Favored Foe. It works just like Hunter's Mark. It's just a shorter duration, and it does an extra d4 damage instead of a 1d6. We will use it if we run out of spell slots for Hunter's Mark. Next is Deft Explorer. It gives you a few abilities as we level up. At this level, we get Canny. It gives you an expertise in 1 skill, and we took Stealth. And we get 2 additional languages. Take whatever fits with your campaign.
Mm-hmm. And at 7th level, we take 2nd level Ranger. We get a fighting style, and we want Dueling, giving us a +2 on damage when using a single one-handed weapon. We also get Spellcasting this level. We get 2 spells known and 2 1st level spell slots. The problem with Rangers is that most of their spells are concentration. And the spell that we'll be using most is Hunter's Mark. You choose a creature you can see within range and mystically mark it as your quarry. Until the spell ends, you deal an extra 1d6 damage to the target whenever you hit it with a weapon attack, and you have advantage on any Wisdom, Perception, or Wisdom Survival checks you make to find it. If the target drops to 0 hit points before the spell ends, you can use a bonus action on a subsequent turn of yours to mark a new creature. Since your concentration will be used on Hunter's Mark, for our 2nd level spell known, we want something that doesn't use concentration. Take Good Berry. Up to 10 berries appear in your hand and are infused with magic for the duration. A creature can use its action to eat 1 berry. Eating a berry restores 1 hit point, and the berry provides enough nourishment to sustain a creature for a day. The berries lose their potency if they have not been consumed within 24 hours of the casting of the spell. Also, now that we have proficiency with martial weapons, we can start using a longbow for our range attacks. The nice thing about a bow is it's held in the offhand and fired with the primary hand, meaning we hold it in our offhand while wielding a melee weapon, sheath the weapon when we need to do range attacks, or draw it if we need to go back to melee, using our single item interaction efficiently. 8th level is 3rd level Ranger. First, we get Primal Awareness. We learn additional spells when we reach certain levels. In this case, if you don't already know them, these spells don't count against the number of Ranger spells you know, and at this level we get Speak with Animals. We also get our Ranger Conclave, and we want Horizon Walker. We get the spell Protection from Evil and Good as a spell known. We get Detect Portal as an action. We can detect the distance and direction of the closest planar portal within 1 mile of us. Once we use this feature, we can't use it again until we finish a short or long rest. Next, we get Planar Warrior. As a bonus action, choose 1 creature you can see within 30 feet of you. The next time you hit that creature on this turn with a weapon attack, all damage dealt by the attack becomes force damage, and the creature takes an extra 1d8 of force damage from the attack. We also get 1 more spell known and 1 1st level spell slot Take Absorb Elements for a great use of your reaction. At 9th level, we take 4th level Ranger, and we'll take that ability boost to cap our Dexterity at 20. And 10th level is 5th level Ranger. We already got extra attack from Monk, and sadly we can't get it twice, but we do get another spell known. 1 1st level spell slot and 2 2nd level spell slots. Take Lesser Restoration for a good support spell. And from Primal Awareness, we get Beast Sense as a spell known.
Yeah. 11th level is 6th level of Ranger. The damage dice from Favored Foe marking ability increases to 1d6. Now it's just as good as Hunter's Mark, and you can use this mark proficiency times a day, and you get all expended uses when you finish a long rest. Now, if you want, you can drop Hunter's Mark and take another attack spell like Zephyr Strike or Ensnaring Strike or Searing Smite. If you find yourself lacking in hit points, take Cure Wounds, since it can be upcasted for more healing. From Deft Explorer, we get Roving. Your walking speed increases by 5 feet, and you gain a climbing speed and a swimming speed equal to your walking speed. At 12th level is 7th level of Ranger. From Horizon Walker, we get Ethereal Step. As a bonus action on your turn, you can cast the Etherealness spell with this feature without expending a spell slot. But the spell ends at the end of your current turn. Once you use this feature, you can't use it again until you finish a short or long rest. We get another spell known and a 2nd level spell slot. Take Silence. Yes, it's a concentration spell, but against a spellcaster, it can take them completely out of the fight. We found that out firsthand a couple of weeks ago in our home game. At 13th level, we're taking 8th level of Ranger. We can take an ability booster feat, and this time we want the Fey Touched feat. It gives us a +1 to either Intelligence, Wisdom, or Charisma, and we want the +1 and 2 Wisdom, making it 17. We learn Misty Step and 1 1st level spell from the Divination or Enchantment Schools of Magic. We will be taking Silvery Barbs. You can cast these spells without expending a spell slot, and once you cast either of these spells in this way, you can't cast the spell in this way until you finish a long rest. You can also cast these spells using spell slots of their appropriate level. At 14th level is 9th level of Ranger. All we get at this level is another spell known and 2 3rd level spell slots. Take Conjure Barrage. You throw a non-magical weapon or fire a piece of non-magical ammunition into the air to create a cone of identical weapons that shoot forward and then disappear. Each creature in a 60-foot cone must succeed on a dexterity saving throw. A creature takes 3d8 damage on a failed save or half as much damage on a successful one. The damage type is the same as the weapon or ammunition used as the component. And from your Primal Awareness, we get Speak with Plants as a spell known as well. At 15th level, we get is 10th level of Ranger. From Depth Explorer, we get Timeless. As an action, you can give yourself a number of temporary hit points equal to 1d8 plus your Wisdom modifier with a minimum of 1. You can use this action a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. There's an optional feature here, Nature's Veil. As a bonus action, you can magically become invisible, along with any equipment you are wearing or carrying until the start of your next turn. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest.
And at 16th level is 11th level Ranger. From Horizon Walker, we get Distant Strike. You gain the ability to pass between the planes in a blink of an eye. When you use the attack action, you can teleport up to 10 feet before each attack to an unoccupied space you can see. If you attack at least 2 different creatures with the action, you can make 1 additional attack with it against a third creature. With this, combined with the Blessing of the Raven Queen, we'll be jumping all over the battlefield, attacking people as we go. Now we can teleport 10 feet to make our first attack, teleport another 10 feet to make it a second attack on a second creature, and that gives us a third attack on a third creature, plus a flurry of blows on top of that. Also, this doesn't specify melee attacks, so we can teleport around shooting our longbow as well. We get another spell known and another 3rd level spell slot. Take Revivify for a party support spell. And 17th level is 12th level Ranger. We can take an ability booster feat, and we want the Observant feat. We can take either a +1 to Intelligence or Wisdom, and we want the +1 to Wisdom, making it 18. We can also read lips, as long as we can understand the language the creature is speaking, and we get a +5 to Passive Perception and Passive Investigation. And at 18th level, we'll go back to Monk to finish off this build. At level 6 Monk, we get Key-Empowered Strikes. Our unarmed strikes count as magical for the purpose of overcoming resistance and immunity to non-magical attacks and damage. And from Kensei, we get 1 with the Blade. We extend our key into our Kensei weapons, granting the following benefits. First is Magic Kensei weapons. Our attacks with our Kensei weapons count as magical for the purpose of overcoming resistance and immunity to non-magical attacks and damage. And second is Deft Strike. When we hit a target with a Kensei weapon, we can spend 1 key point to cause the weapon to deal extra damage to target equal to our martial arts die. can use this feature only once on each of our turns. Also, our unarmored movement increases 5 feet at this level. At 19th level, 7th level Monk, we get Evasion. When we are subject to an effect that allows us to make a dexterity save to take only half damage, we instead take no damage if we succeed on the saving throw, and only half damage if we fail. Also, we get Stillness of Mind. We can use our action to end one effect on ourselves that is causing us to be charmed or frightened. And finally, at 20th level, we take 8th level Monk. Since we are a little low on hit points, we're going to take the Tough feat. Our hit point maximum increases by an amount equal to twice our level when we gain this feat.
I see this character like the mutant Nightcrawler, teleporting in and stabbing an enemy quickly, then teleporting to the next enemy before the first one can even react. You will have a good amount of hit points, and your final AC will be 19, not including the parrying ability we got from Kensei. This is an all-around character that would be fun for anyone to play.
Mm-hmm. And we often add a list of good magic items for the character. Mm-hmm. These are just things we think would really complement the character. What items you actually get will depend on your DM and the campaign. We have 1 very rare or legendary, 2 rare, and 3 uncommon items for a level 20 character. At legendary, there's a very cool item from the Candlekeep Mysteries Adventure Guide called Gloves of Soul Casting. Firstly, it makes our Constitution 20 if it already isn't, and it adds 2d10 force damage to our unarmed strikes. Additionally, we can heal hit points equal to the force damage we deal, or gain advantage on one attack, ability check, or save before the start of our next turn. This uses our first attunement slot. At rare, using our second attunement slot, we want Braces of Defense, adding 2 to our armor class, and working with unarmored defense. Also from Candlekeep Mysteries, we want Serpent Fang Longsword. It is made from the scrimshod fang of a giant serpent and adds a d10 poison damage to every hit. As a Kensei monk, we can use a longsword as a monk weapon and can use it two-handed with the variant property to deal a d10 damage and still make unarmed attacks. At uncommon, using our last attunement, we want a Dragonhide Belt +1, giving us +1 on the DC of our key abilities, and once per day regain a number of key points equal to the roll of our martial arts die. We also want a +1 longbow. Lastly, we want Insignia of Claws, which gives us a +1 bonus to our unarmed attacks and makes them magical, but ours already are because of key-empowered strikes.
Mm-hmm. As usual, if you have any questions, comments, or build ideas, please leave them in the comments section below. Next week, we'll be doing a build suggestion from Scott Jefferson, and they want to see a melee caster build, so look forward to that. And until next time, cheers!